Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child on Fire. This is an underwhelming film, to be honest. I didn't downright despise this one, but I realized there was a lot of missed potential where it could have been much better than what it turned out to be. If I had to describe this film in one word, it's lackluster. Not that this film was a dumpster fire or anything, it's just it got boring at times because I didn't know much about these characters. So the story of this one is that when a farming colony is threatened by the Imperium, who is the military in this movie, then a former Imperium soldier named Cora, she goes across the galaxy to recruit warriors to fight against this corrupt military. Now, to be honest, this film disappointed me a little bit. While I had enjoyed the visuals and the action scenes, everything else just fell by the wayside. Like the lack of character development and the story really hurt this film to a large degree. And that's not to say the story was awful or anything, it just felt like discount Star Wars. That's what this film reminded me of. Which is ironic because Zack Snyder wanted to make a Star Wars movie, but then Lucasfilm said no, and well, we had gotten this for a Netflix film. You know, I've seen much worse Netflix movies out there. So this one isn't an outright disaster, but at the same time, it's nowhere near as great as it should have been, in my opinion. For the most part, it seemed like this film was more style than substance. Like, I've always been a fan of Zack Snyder movies, but in this, I didn't know much about the characters. In fact, I'd rather have a sequel to Army of the Dead, because I do know there's a sequel coming out to this film, but if it's going to be like something similar to this, then, well, what's even the point? An example of this is that Cora gets the most character development, and because of that, this film suffers for it. Like, we have other actors such as Charlie Hunnam and Djimon Hounsou, then this movie, you know, it suffers because of their characters. While they do seem interesting, we don't know anything about them, so quite frankly, I just couldn't connect to these characters. Not only that, but the lack of team chemistry is apparent. Like, say what you will about 2016 Suicide Squad, but at least that film had team chemistry done better. In this, it's like the same rinse and repeat formula. Cora goes to one world, she asks someone to join her team. They say, yeah, there's no resistance, there's no arguing. I didn't get that camaraderie that I gotten from other movies about teams I have seen throughout the years. In fact, even the antagonist wasn't even menacing or anything. In fact, this whole film felt like it could have been improved upon if it wasn't rated PG-13. But I really feel like if this film was rated R, then maybe it would have been a little bit more enjoyable. Not just because of the, things you could do with that, but basically, well, I do know there is a extended cut coming out next year. It needs to really be on the level of like the Snyder Cut, where it expands the lore of the characters. If it doesn't do that, then it's just an extended film, to be honest. I don't hate this one, but at the same time, this movie didn't do enough to really win me over in terms of storytelling or even the characters because I didn't know much about them. Now, I thought the action scenes, they were cool, but the slow-mo, it was overdone. It felt like most of the action was just slow motion scenes, and I kind of felt, well, I was getting tired of it. The visuals look beautiful, like I mentioned before, but other than that, this film's just like an empty shell of what could have been an epic space opera. Like I mentioned before, it's discount Star Wars. Not that I'm hating on this film, it's just that it didn't do enough to win me over, to be honest. I'm giving this film a 6 out of 10. You know, this one has so much potential, it just drops the ball big time. How am I supposed to care about these characters and I don't really know anything about them? I hope part 2 really lives up to the hype because right now, I'm going to go into part 2 with low expectations because this film had disappointed me. Though at least it's somewhat entertaining, but I really can't give it any more positives than what I already had said beforehand. And that's my review of Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire. Alright, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie if you have seen it. Okay, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.